Speaking at a UN non-proliferation conference in Geneva on Tuesday, Russia's arms control envoy Vladimir Yermakov warned that Iran's nuclear agreement, known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action (JCPOA), is in a fragile condition, noting that any attempt to change the deal would affect the global non-proliferation regime. We call upon our colleagues in this hall today not to remain silent in hopes that this situation will somehow blow over by itself, but rather to take serious steps to preserve the JCPOA, Yermakov said. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said on Monday he had agreed with his Chinese counterpart that Moscow and Beijing would try to block any U.S. attempt to sabotage the nuclear deal, Presstv reported. The Chinese-Russian draft statement urges the UN member states to confirm their unwavering support for the comprehensive and effective implementation of the nuclear deal, and to recognize its significant contribution to international security. The U.S. under President Donald Trump has repeatedly threatened to pull out of the historical agreement, which was struck between the Islamic Republic and the P5 group of countries, including Washington itself. The deal removed nuclear-related sanctions against Iran, which, in turn, changed some aspects of its nuclear energy program. All other signatories have warned the U.S. against quitting the deal. Trump has said unless the European parties fix the terrible flaws of the accord by May 12, Washington would withdraw from the deal. Iran has ruled out any renegotiation. Yermakov noted that the fate of the Iran deal will be a decisive element in the upcoming talks on North Korea's nuclear program. The efforts to settle the nuclear problem on the Korean peninsula through diplomatic means will to a large extent depend on the JCPOA, he said at the conference. A breach of the JCPOA without any reason and against the will of the international community is hardly likely to assure the DPRK's people that any potential future agreement would be observed, the Russian diplomat added. In an interview with Reuters, Yermakov expressed hope that the initiative will garner the support of all major states at the end of the two-week conference, including the European allies of the U.S. I hope to have all of them on board. Our joint statement has nothing negative, it is quite understandable, and the wording is difficult not to support, he said. Japanese Foreign Minister Taro Kono also voiced support for the JCPOA at the conference, saying it contributed to the global non-proliferation regime. Its continued and full implementation is important, Kono pointed out. On Tuesday, Iranian President Hassan Rouhani once again warned the U.S. against violating the 2015 nuclear deal, saying any failure to respect the multinational agreement would entail grave consequences. Amid Trump's threats, other parties have stepped up diplomatic efforts to save the deal. French President Emmanuel Macron is in Washington, trying to convince Trump not to pull out of the accord. German Chancellor Angela Merkel will also visit the White House later this week to discuss the issue.